I've been meaning for a bit to get one of those mystery box of games you can find on eBay sometimes. Couldn't really find a good option, but luckily I know someone who had a stockpile of games.
A lot of it's fillers.
Pickin Preacher was kind enough to make me a mystery box of games. I spent 200 bucks on this thing. I have no idea what's in it. Let's open it up and find out. Of course, he had to remind everyone who I am. I probably should have pre-cut this for the video. Okay, here we go. Okay, nice packaging, nice packaging. Gonna try and keep it out of sight so that it's a surprise for me. All right, here we go, first game. Aragon on the PSP. I think I actually have the PS2 version of this, so I'm sure this is probably one of those weird downgraded like PS2 versions. Never saw the movie. I remember reading the book actually and liking the first book, but I heard the movie was less than stellar. All right, what do we got next? Summoner. I have picked up this game once in the past. It was in a giant lot of stuff. These weird early PS2 games I'm always looking to collect, so that's a nice little pickup there. I should probably mention, a lot of this I'm looking to add to my personal collection. Not really looking to flip, but if I have some duplicates here, you already know what's going to happen. Oh, actually, this is a pretty good one. Sopranos on PS2. If I remember correctly, this one's actually kind of valuable. I just started watching Sopranos recently with one of my buddies. Good show. So far, the first season is really, really good. All right, next up, what do we got here? The Gradius Collection. Okay. I guess I'm not really a shoot 'em up fan, but you know, now that I'm looking at it, all these games so far have been really clean copies. I'm not really sure on the values of any of these games. I'm sure at this point I've already updated it a few times, but it's up here. Yeah, Gradius on PSP. All right, what do we got? Warhammer Space Marine. Okay, so far there really hasn't been any fluff. I'm impressed. I'm impressed, Keith.
It's gonna be a lot of crap, I can tell you that.
I have picked this game up a few times. This used to be, I remember, like a good GameStop bolo, especially when they're having a 4 for $20 sale. But yeah, nice complete copy. Can't really complain about that. I'm not really into Warhammer at all, but this could be a fun game. Okay, next up, Tales of Legendia. Okay, I don't know if this is a valuable game, but Tales games, early Tales games, PS1, PS2. I'm always looking to get just quality games on PS2 and PS1. Those are my favorite systems of all time to collect for, so I don't know how good this Tales game is, but I have played through Tales of Arise. I really like that one, so hopefully this one's just as good. Next up, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: The Crystal Bearers. I've seen this game tons of times. I don't know if it's supposed to be a good one. I guess at some point I was trying to collect every Final Fantasy game, but I kind of dropped off from that. Still cool nonetheless. Next up. This is actually a game I wanted. Trauma Center, New Blood. Did I say New Blood? I meant Second Opinion. It's because the sticker on the back from GameStop says New Blood. Of course, GameStop made a mistake in trading in. What else can they do besides make mistakes? Yeah, mint condition copy. It looks like it would be a doctor hospital simulator, but knowing it's an Atlas game, there's probably some ridiculous twist with demons or something in it, so should be cool. What do we got next here? This is a sealed game. What is this? Sealed cardboard? Nuclear Blaze. What the heck is this? The world is burning, well, not exactly what the whole region is. I guess it looks like it's a firefighter simulator? That is interesting. I've never seen this before. I might have to break the seal on this one. Next up, what do we got? I think I have this already, but it's Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron. This was probably my most played PSP game of all time, back when I was playing the PSP pretty consistently. From what I remember, this was pretty much like equivalent in quality to the PS2 Battlefront games, just on the portable. There was a lot of great PSP games like that. But yeah, I remember Renegade Squadron. What was the other one? Elite Squadron, I think. These were just great quality games on the PSP. What do we got next? Ghostbusters the game sealed. Okay, where are you getting all these high quality games from? This is crazy. I like never find PSP games complete in box in the wild. It is extraordinarily rare. So for you to give me this many quality too, not just a bunch of FIFAs or something, that's pretty cool. But yeah, sealed Ghostbusters. It looks like it's a port of like the PS2 and Wii version, just based on the cartoony cover of the original 4, but I think I have Ghostbusters, the remastered version on PS4. I'm sure that's probably the best version to play, but still cool to have a sealed PSP game. I don't think I have a sealed PSP game. Alright, next up. Siphon Filter Logan Shadow. I have never played any of the Siphon Filter games. They just don't interest me at all, and I can't say any different for this one. Alright, next up. Attack the Great Juju Challenge. Man, if this was the PS2 version, that would have been perfect. I'm trying to get every single 3D platformer that was released on the PS2. Yeah, some of those are going to get expensive, but this was actually one I needed. Unfortunately, this is the Xbox version, which, honestly, the Xbox version probably runs and plays better, but I'm a ridiculous Sony fanboy, so PS2 version is the one I want. Alright, next up. GameCube game, Harvest Moon Magical Melody. If I remember correctly, there's a Wii version of this game too? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Probably just pulling that out of nowhere, but complete in box, yeah, Good condition too. That's cool. I don't collect GameCube often, but when I do find games that interest me that aren't that expensive, I usually like to keep them. Good one to have. I've never played a Harvest Moon game. I've played Stardew Valley once, and I kind of liked it, so maybe these Harvest Moon games will be all right. All right, next up. Well, we got Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. Another good condition GameCube game too. I'm pretty sure this is pretty similar to the other one. All right, next up. Oh, this might be the last game actually. Is this a Sega CD game? You know, funnily enough, this is the second time I've seen this in person. Mortal Kombat on Sega CD. I never find Sega CD games in the wild, especially complete in box. So that's cool to have. I don't have a Sega CD. I don't ever plan on getting one. I don't care for it at all. I'm not nostalgic for the Sega CD. I have a very tiny Genesis collection, but I do like Mortal Kombat as a series, so cool to have. Well, looks like that's about it. Not a bad little stack of games for 200 bucks. I'm actually really impressed. I thought it was gonna be, it's not a lot of games. It's actually a lot less than I thought it would be, but it's pretty much all quality here. I thought it was gonna maybe be like a few heavy hitters and then just
a bunch of loose games.
But nope, Pickin Preacher, you came in clutch. This is actually a lot of good stuff. I'm definitely gonna be keeping a majority of this stuff. Couldn't really be happier with the purchase, so that's awesome. But because it wasn't that much stuff, it took a lot less time than I thought it would. So I'll go ahead and take this time now to answer some questions from the previous video that I made. Probably should have pulled up these questions in advance. Okay, first up, I have some questions. Why? Why not? The Clown asks, how did you get into reselling? I actually went more in depth into this in the Pickin Preacher's podcast, but to sum it up, basically, I was just a casual collector at one point, just going to thrift stores every once in a while, going to game stores every once in a while, and it just got to a certain point in the market in the past few years where finding deals was almost impossible unless you were doing the things that the resellers were doing. And so I kind of just figured at one point, I can sit here and hate on the resellers and just, you know, wish the worst upon them, or I can do what they do and get the games I want for cheap or for free. So that's really the main motive. That was really the main motivation for getting into it. Question from Daug4085. Do you skate, and how long have you known Easy for? I don't skate. I have a skateboard, but I'm terrible. I love the Tony Hawk series. That makes me think I can skate, but I can't. I'm terrible at skating. How long have I known Easy for? I met Easy about 3 months ago. We randomly met at a pawn shop. It's actually in one of the videos I made called I Toured a Huge Game Collection and Then Found a Grail. I kind of showed off his collection a little bit in there, but I had known about Easy for a bit. I watched another YouTuber named Gat Cognac, OG collector YouTuber, and he showed off Easy's collection a little over a year ago. And so long story short, we met at a pawn shop about 3 months ago. Question from Freeze Raptor YT. What is the most profit you made on one game? That's hard to say. Honestly, I don't really get any super great grails for cheap. A lot of the times that I've gotten expensive games in my hands is from paying up, paying 40, 50, 60% of the value of it. I'm really trying to think if I've gotten any crazy grails. I guess honestly the best I ever did was I got Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 from GameStop, complete in box for technically like $11, which that's a near $200 game, so that's probably the best I ever did. I didn't sell it. I have it in my collection, but if I sold it, it would have probably been the most profit I ever made on one item relative to how much I spent on it. Otherwise, I've sold games like Misadventures of Tron on PS1 before, the Persona games on PS1. I sold an Atari Jaguar recently. All right, question from I am way too old for this 90. How did you get so good looking? Drink water. Question from Theater Killer. I am so confused why anyone would buy Fallout 4 for $40. I was seeing Prime sellers on Amazon for less than that. Do they actually sell for that when you list them? Yeah, generally speaking, if you're quick to list things on Amazon and you time the market correctly, you're probably going to sell things at what you list them for. I think currently it's going for like $30 now, but yeah, a month or two ago, it was going for $40 because of the TV show. And that's all the questions I found on that video. Thank you guys again for watching, and thank you, Pickin Preacher. This is a great stack of games to get. I'll catch you guys next time.
So, remember guys,